want to do something different with this tag. At the end, I'm going to give my viewers a chance to participate in actually answering a tag question. So, stay tuned till then. Hello and welcome back to Bookish and welcome back to Tag Tuesday. Today, after a long absence, I'm going to do the Think Twice tag. The Think Twice tag was created by AJ Dunn. AJ Dunn Reads and Writes. They have a great channel. And by Jolene at Bookworm Adventure Girl. I'll leave links to both their original videos down below, as well as a way to go directly to their channels to check them out. Both are great booktubers, and they were kind enough to tag me a long time ago. And so I've been really remiss and behind schedule in doing this tag, so I wanted to make sure that I do it now. So, as you might have guessed from the title of the tag, Think Twice tag, all the questions involve something to do with two books at once. So there are 12 questions here, so here we go. Question number 1 is Double Vision, a book that features twins. I went with the Bible here, with Jacob and Esau. From the Bible. Two twins, Esau born first, Jacob holding on to his ankle as he came out, and Jacob being kind of a trickster, a clever fellow, manages to trick Esau out of his birthright and become then the next in line of the lineage that led to the Israelites, and Esau becoming more or less the progenitor of all the Gentiles, I believe is the way the story goes. Oftentimes find that to be kind of an interesting story from the Bible. And it always kind of bothered me when I was a kid that, in lots of ways Jacob seems to be getting rewarded for tricking his brother out of something that belonged to his brother. Question 2, Double Talk, a book with two or twice in the title. I went the easy way here and I picked The Two Towers, the second book, if you want to think about the Lord of the Rings as a trilogy. The second book in the Lord of the Rings trilogy actually would be books 3 and 4 in the Lord of the Rings 6. Anyway, you see what I'm saying. It has 2 in the title, and it's actually my favorite book, or part of the Lord of the Rings. Question 3, Seeing Double, a book with a reflection, shadow, or mirror image on the cover. I went with recent Nobel Prize winner's book by Annie Ernaux, which I just read, called The Years, and you'll see here on the cover there's a shadowy figure in the doorway and a figure whose face you can see almost completely in the foreground. Really interesting idea, and pictures, even though they're not actually in the book, descriptions of the pictures play a kind of a centralizing or thematic role in the book, which I did enjoy a great deal and was really found to be really thought-provoking. Prompt 4, take two book covers that look similar but are by different authors. This is one of those things which I always find to be kind of fascinating. What people notice about book covers that make them look similar. And I may be weird here, but my choices are the book cover for Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell, which I still haven't read, yes I know, and then the book cover for The Colony by Audrey McGee, which I have read. And I'll hopefully have, maybe I'll just put them across my face. I'll hopefully have those two book covers up here, and you can see what about them that I think makes them look similar. But anyway, those are the first two that came to my mind. Let's see, prompt 5, I second that, a retelling. For retelling, I almost always pick Père Goriot by Honoré de Balzac, which is a retelling of the King Lear story set in, France in the period, I think about the restoration of the monarchy period, in which Balzac sets a lot of his books about a father with 3 daughters, etc. Anyway, so I picked Père Goriot. That's my favorite retelling, I think. Prompt 6, 2 can play at that game, a character who plays 2 roles or has an alter ego. I went with, again, a character created by Honoré de Balzac, and that's Vautrin, who is a thief. He's a master thief, a master of disguise. At one point, he plays the role of a priest, advising Lucien de Robespierre. Oh, wow. Advising a character about how to get rich and how to be successful. At one point, he plays, I believe, or he pretends to be a prison official or a police official, but he is a master of disguise, and he plays more than one role in the books in which he features, in Balzac's books in which he features. Prompt 7, it takes 2, a duology. So again, since I'm in kind of the Balzac theme now, I picked Lost Illusions and A Harlot High and Low, which feature one of, I think, Balzac's most important characters. Lucien de Robespierre, I think that's how you say his name, features in both. One in which he's a young man kind of finding his way, faltering, in Paris, another in which he's become a fairly unscrupulous person, willing to use Vautrin's advice, other people's money, a woman to get the position he wants, and it ends. The story ends really tragically. I'm going to pick that as my duology for this this time around instead of the Hippo books by Sarah Gailey, which I normally pick. Prompt 8 on the double, a book told in 2 timelines. I picked Louise Erdrich's book, The Plague of Doves, which essentially tells the story of a crime committed in the past, a racist crime committed in the past on a Native American reservation, and then in the second timeline, the more modern timeline, kind of the effects of that have carried out throughout different families' histories and different characters' histories. Prompt 9, A Perfect Pair, the last 2 books you gave 5 stars to. That would be Disoriental by Nagar Javadi, sorry. And then The Colony by Audrey McGee, which I read and believing it would make the Booker shortlisted. It didn't, but I found both those books to be incredibly enjoyable. I know not everybody likes The Colony or Disoriental, but for me those books both kind of like fit a perfect space for me in things I like to read about and in stories I like to read about. Prompt, let's see, 10, 2 for the show. A book that has been adapted to film 2 or more times. This is Victober, and so I picked Great Expectations, which is my favorite Dickens novel. You know, not too long, not too short. Definitely kind of hits the themes about growing up and about making your way and figuring out who you can trust and who you can't trust, and just, you know, great Dickensian twists and turns in that book. Prompt 11 is a book with 2 or more authors. The only one I could think of off the top of my head was a history book, kind of a revisionist history book about Texas history called Forget the Alamo, written by 3 authors, not always successfully. You can kind of tell where different authors took over, and some of the authors' writing style and approach is better, but it's definitely written by 3 authors, and it does do a good job, I think, of at least initially introducing the idea that a lot of the things that we've been taught in Texas history about the Alamo and other things really are not quite accurate, or in many cases not accurate at all. And then prompt 12, double take, recommend 2 books you think would pair well together and tell us why. So for this, I think I chose a fairly obvious pair of books, which are a collection of short stories. The first is Lot by Brian Washington. Brian Washington lives and writes here in the Houston area, and Lot is set in and among poor and ethnically diverse minorities in Houston. It follows, there are connecting stories. Some of the stories connect and follow one family's problems in dealing with poverty and addiction and sexual identity. And so I picked Lot, and I would pair that with a book I just finished, which is Night of the Living Res by Morgan Talty, which also kind of follows families that struggles with lots of those issues, only this time it is an indigenous American family living and trying to survive in modern day on a Native American reservation in Maine. And it deals with a lot of the same themes, and the stories are all in some way connected, and so to me those 2 books just kind of worked perfectly together. All right, so there's my take on the 12 prompts. So I told you at the beginning I wanted to give my viewers a chance to participate in making a tag. I hear a lot of times when I make tags or when people talk about tag videos who don't, you know, have a channel in which they make and post videos, that tag videos feel a little bit like they exclude people who don't have channels. And I can see the point about that. So I wanted to kind of include my viewers here. And so what I want to do here is give you the opportunity, you my viewers who don't have channels in which you post videos, to answer question 12, to recommend to me 2 books that just seem to go together. So I'll read prompt 12 again. Prompt 12 was double take. Recommend 2 books you think would pair well together and tell us why. So if you are interested in doing this, please leave a comment down below in which you recommend 2 books you think go together, that pair together, and then, you know, briefly explain why. Please also, for my sake, tell me what genre you think those 2 books fall into. so they know that. And what I'm going to do sometime in the future, maybe as early as next week, is I'll make a video in which I give those recommendations, in which I actually, instead of answering the question myself, I'll give the answer to the question that my viewers gave and left in the comments. I want to do that and kind of give my viewers who don't post videos themselves a way to participate in the tag video. So anyway, there you go. There is the Think Twice tag. Again, links to the creators' channels, AJ Dunn and Jolene, Bookworm Adventure Girl, will be in the show notes down below, along with all the prompts and probably a list of the books that I mentioned here. Anyway, I look forward to your comments and your answers to prompt 12 in the comment section below, and as always, thank you for watching.